Before the start of this video, this is an announcement that the return of the WCW Clash of the Champions review shows will be on the 3rd of September. Enjoy this video, folks. What's up, my Censored Galaxy? It's Centerman here. So this is my review of WCW's Monday Nitro for the 18th of March 1996. This is the final Nitro before Uncensored 1996. I'm not going to talk about that show anytime soon. I'm talking about Uncensored 96, by the way. This show was in Chattanooga, Tennessee. This show kicks off with a brawl between the Giant and Loch Ness. Loch Ness is formerly known as Giant Haystacks for you old school British wrestling fans, by the way. And the original first match was supposed to be Lex Luger defending the TV Championship against Loch Ness. I'll talk about why Luger was the TV champion in a matter of seconds. And the match ended in a count-out. Luger retains the belt via a count-out because Loch Ness, who's a very big, fat dude, who is still brawling with the Giant. This was setting up a match out on censor between Loch Ness and Giant. And Luger is celebrating. He went towards the commentator area and said, "This is the biggest win of my life." And Bischoff called him out. "You call that a win?" It's just like, he said, "I'm on the roll." And yeah, the reason why Luger is the TV champion, because he defeated Johnny B. Bad on an episode of WCW's Saturday Night Main Event after the distraction by DDP hit B. Bad with the Diamond Cutter. And that was Johnny B. Bad's final WCW match before leaving the company to go to the WWF as Mark Merrow with Sable. That's another story for another time. The rest is history. So the second segment of the show, you had Tony Schiavone interviewing the Mega Powers. That is Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage. And he's filling for Mean Gene Okerlund, because I think the announcers brought up moments later on in the show, said he had the flu, and Heenan says, "Oh, he's got the sniffles." It's just a typical snarky comment for Bobby the Brain Heenan on Mean Gene Okerlund. So Schiavone interviewing the Mega Powers. The Mega Powers, Hogan brings up their match last week on Nitro, the 6-man lumberjack strap match. And also, he's talking about their match at Uncensored, the Doomsday Cage match between the Alliance Destroy Hulkamania. We'll get to that group at the end of this review. And he's kind of trying to put himself over. He kind of says, "I'm the dirtiest player of the game. Why are you, stealing Ric Flair's nickname?" I don't want to get in detail. It's just what it is. So, it's just, talking about their match at Uncensored, the Doomsday Cage match, and the match at the previous Nitro. Sorry, I'm stumbling, but it's just like a filler segment. It's just just talking about the next match and the previous match, blah 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 blah. So moving on to the second match of the show, that is the Steiner brothers. That is Rick and Scott Steiner versus the Public Enemy. That is Rocco Rock and Johnny Grunge. Sadly, both men are no longer with us. It's a shame that Public Enemy, they're an established tag team in ECW. I think they were 4-time ECW tag team champions. They left ECW in 1995. I don't know if they came back, in the dying years of ECW in the 1999, 2000 mark, before the company went out of business in 2001. It's a shame, they never went anywhere in WCW, and also, I never knew they wrestled in the WWF. I think they wrestled in the WWF in 98, 99 in the Attitude Era. Didn't do well. It's very funny that you got the two established tag teams in ECW, that is Public Enemy and the Dudley Boys. It's funny that the Dudley Boys end up becoming household names in not just in ECW but in WWE and years later in TNA. But the Public Enemy, no, they're one of the most forgettable tag teams in pro wrestling. People talk about favorite tag teams or greatest tag teams in pro wrestling history. They'll bring up the Hardy Boys, Dudleys, Edge and Christian, Road Warriors, Hart Foundation, the British Bulldogs. They don't talk about Public Enemy. I don't get it. So Anyway, back to this match. This was, for me, this is match of the night. It was a bit boring, but they told a good story in the ring between Public Enemy and the Steiners. I think one more of the match, you had Johnny Grunge bulldog Rick Steiner there was a blue chair. He hit Rick Steiner with the bulldog onto the chair. Rocco Rock, man, that dude was an athletic big man. He did a lot. He did like I think it was a moonsault onto Scott Steiner. He did a moonsault off the top rope onto Rick Steiner. And then one good spot, like, you had, Rocco Rock, trying to hit like another moonsault or really a move off the top rope, and Rick Steiner counted into a scoop slam. Not a scoop slam, but some kind of slam. Try to keep it short and simple, folks. In the end, Rocco Rock trying to put Rick Steiner through a table. He hit like a moonsault plancha, but instead Rick Steiner got away. Rocco Rock went through the table. In the end, Rick and Scott Steiner hit their tag team finisher onto Johnny Grunge to win this match. Yeah, it's a shame they never got over in WCW and WWF. I'm talking about Public Enemy. They're basically like a small fish in two big ponds. It just has to do with timing, because they died pretty young. Rocco Rock died in 2002. Johnny Grunge died in 2006. I think Johnny Grunge is younger than Rocco Rock. Rocco Rock died nearly 50, and Johnny Grunge, I think he died at the age of 40. Wow. So it's just what it is. But anyway, this match was good. The next match, we got the Booty Man. That is Ed Leslie, formerly known as Bruce the Bobby Beefcake, versus the Enforcer, Arn Anderson, with Woman. Sorry, almost forgot her name. It's Woman, aka Nancy Benoit. Before we get to this match, I forgot to talk about Luger's booking, because I said in my past two reviews of Nitro, they booked Luger weird. It's not a 50-50 booking. It's kind of like, I don't know what's going on with Luger. Is he a heel or he's in a babyface? Because one moment he's teaming up with Sting, and the next thing he's teaming up, really appearing with Jimmy Hart. Mouth of the South Jimmy Hart. In the last two Nitros, he's basically he was Hart trying to help Luger win those matches, and he just like brushed him off, and instead he didn't recognize, didn't pay attention. I don't get it. This is like, what the hell? They kind of booked Luger in the last few weeks, building up to that show Uncensored. It's just like, what's going on? I might say it again if I review Uncensored 96. So anyway, let's get back to this match between Arn Anderson versus the Booty Man, with Woman in Double A's corner. Match sucked. Booty Man, holy shit. This has got to be a PG version of, maybe a PG version of Billy Gunn, when he's doing the Mystic Ass gimmick. It's just one of Ed Leslie's bad gimmicks in WCW. Yeah, I prefer him as the Disciple when the NWO invasion kicked off later in that year. He had a good look when he was the Disciple. Maybe it was played by a different person, but he became the Disciple months later when the whole NWO kicked off, with the black and white. But yeah, he had a lot of grappy gimmicks. He was formerly known as the Zodiac when he was part of the Dungeon and Doom, but instead he broke away from the group because he was still working with Hulk Hogan. I don't know why who come up with this whole idea. So he's kind of like a double agent. Yeah, he's the Zodiac, all of a sudden he's the Booty Man. I don't get it. Why can't you just be... I just don't get it. I understand he can't call him the Barber because they end up getting sued by WCW. Look at Big Boss Man, Ray Trailer. He was the boss. He got, they changed his gimmick to avoid lawsuits by the WWF. Same as the Convicts. He, Nails. He was the Convict in WCW. Changed his gimmick because lawsuit by the World Wrestling Federation. And yeah, they give him these crappy gimmicks, man. It's just what it is, whatever. So the match sucked. It was boring to watch. It was just punch heavy. It was just punch heavy. It's never got its second gear. And then you got Kimberly, the booty girl. I called her a bad girl months ago because she was not really officially a bad girl. The reason why I called her the bad girl because she was Johnny B. Bad's valet. She was pairing herself with Johnny B. Bad because she was DDP's manager and on their wife in real, husband and wife in real life. But yeah, they broke up in 2005. Divorced in 2005. But yeah, she was the Diamond Girl. And then she was Johnny B. Bad's valet. And then when Johnny B. Bad left WCW, yeah, she's teaming up with the Booty Man, become the Booty Girl. Oh, I don't think they officially called her the Booty Girl, but I'm gonna call her the Booty Girl. Yeah, she was the Bad Girl, then the Diamond Girl, the Bad Girl, then the Booty Girl, and then she end up teaming up with reunite with DDP years later. But anyways, a year later. But anyway, so the match is just. Yeah, Kimberly got involved. Woman, I thought it's gonna lead up to a cat fight between Woman and Kimberly. Woman is Nancy Sullivan, aka Nancy Benoit. Unfortunately, Booty Man trying to attempt to break up the fight. Almost a fight. He kind of stand right in the middle, stopping the two women fighting. Anyway, you got Arn Anderson, cheap shot the Booty Man, trying to get him back in the ring. In the end, Booty Man hit Double A with a running knee for the win. So moving on to the next match, the second tag team match of the night. We got the Road Warriors versus the Nasty Boys. The Nasty Boys are Brian Knobbs and Jerry Sags. This match sucked. It started out with a good brawl between both tag teams, the Road Warriors and the Nasty Boys, but when they get into the ring, it was boring. I trying to get behind it, but it's just boring. It's just punch heavy. It's just never got its second gate. It just never got better ever since. In the end, you got the Steiners trying to get involved. Animal hit, I think it was Brian Knobbs or Jerry Sags with his arm pad for the win. And similar to the Luger booking, I don't get it. The Road Warriors are doing the same. I don't know if they are heels, but they're kind of like. This is something like a heel would do. This is not something like a babyface would do. Cheat to win. Like the previous week, you hit Animal hit I think it was Rick Steiner with some kind of like object, piece of their padding, and then on this match, on this show, Animal hit one of the Nasty Boys with the arm elbow pad. It's just like, what the hell's going on with it? With the Road Warriors, who's booking it? I don't understand. I know it's Kevin Sullivan who's booking WCW at the time, but what's going on? Why are you booking Luger fifth like a tweener, and why are you booking the babyface Road Warriors as heels? I don't get it. Let's move on. So I think that's it. And there's 4 matches. You had Luger. I don't really call that a match between Luger and Loch Ness. It was barely a match. I guess it's a blessing in disguise because they had a full-length match. That match sucked because Loch Ness, Giant Haystacks, he's just not that good. I'm not disrespecting for the old school British wrestling fans who grew up watching Giant Haystacks, but when I saw him, I cover his match months ago. Because it's been a long time since I cover some WCW Nitros. He's just there for his size. He's there for his character. He's never that great in his wrestling. He's there for because he's about 500 pounds, 700 pounds. He was a very fat guy and tall. But if they had a full length match, that would be a boring match. I'm glad they it protects his Luger, by the way. So yeah, that. And then you got Steiner's Public Enemy, Booty Man, Arn Anderson, Nasty Boys, Road Warriors. So moving on to the main event. The main event, we got Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage, the Mega Powers, versus Ric Flair, the WCW World Champion, and the Taskmaster, Kevin Sullivan. Match was okay. I think the match was okay. They wrestled an okay match. I thought it was going to be a clusterfuck. The ending, we'll get to that shortly, but it was an okay match. The one funny part, you had Ric Flair pushing the referee. I think that was... I thought it was Nick Patrick, but instead it was Randy Anderson. Ric Flair pushed, and Anderson pushed Ric Flair back. I think this is the reason Triple H aspired, because Triple H grew up watching Ric Flair. That's the reason. And then funny that years later, Triple H ended up pushing Earl Hebner. You don't get that. It's really funny they don't do it anymore. in today's pro wrestling, had like the heel wrestlers pushing the referee. I wish they do that, not just in not they might do it in some small promotions, but not in the major promotions like WWE or AEW. I wish they go back to that, like a heel referee, not heel referee, sorry, a heel wrestler pushing a referee, whether it's an MGF pushing whoever. I don't think she's gonna. I don't think they're gonna. I don't not pushing Andre Edwards, but pushing like a male referee, or like what's he? Roman Reigns pushing Mike Chioda. Well, yeah, I don't know. Let's move on. You know, I get my drift. I'm trying to say, but you don't get it because what they do back then, you're not gonna see it right now in today's wrestling. Anyway, so the match ended a disqualification, a clusterfuck. You got the return of Brian Pillman. It's like, holy shit, he's returned. I thought his last match in WCW was at Super Bowl 6, in the I Respect You strap match. He showed up, I think he beat down Randy Savage, and then we got the debuts of Z Gangster Zeus and the Final Solution. No, the Ultimate Solution. I'll get to that. We'll get to Z Gangster Ultimate Solution a bit shortly. Yeah, the match ended as qualification. It was a clusterfuck, but the match was okay for what it is. So, and he was called we got Z Gangster, first time in the pro wrestling business for the first time since 1989. 7 years later, he came back as Z Gangster, and then you got this big white dude called he's a bodybuilder called Robert Swanson. He was the final, I think it's called the Ultimate Solution. Yeah, originally he was supposed to be called the Final Solution. Unfortunately, they kind of changed his name because his name was so controversial. It's reference of Hitler when Hitler's plans to exterminate the Jews, so that's the reason why he changed his name. Basically, they bring up what they're going to do on Uncensored, putting over most of Zeus, Sea Gangster, and Final Solution. I'm going to call him the Ultimate Solution. I don't know why they call him the Solution. What the fuck? And also Robert Swanson become Bane 1 year later. The Batman and Robin movie in 1997. He become Bane. I don't know. It's debatable if he's better than Tom Hardy's Bane. If you watch Dark Knight Rises, I don't want to get into that, but he had a better physique than Tom Hardy's. Tom Hardy's a small person, but at the same time, he's got muscles, but he's a bit of a small person. As for Robert Swanson as Bane, he looks buffed, but he's doing he did a bicep pose. He's got big as arms. Tiny Linster, Tiny Linster, Tony Linster. What's his name? Tony Linster, Tommy Linster. Zeus, Sea Gangster, whatever he's being called. He looks fatter. He looks fatter compared his previous physique when he's feuding with Hogan in 1989. He's not like I don't know. He looks out of shape. He's still got biceps and chest, but he looks fatter compared to Robert Swanson. He looks he looks like he hasn't got a bodybuilding physique. He's got more of a powerlifting physique. It's a shame, like, not powerlifter. Yeah, powerlifter physique. Sorry, I'm stumbling, but it's sadly he died. He died 1 year later, and he died young. I think he died of a heart failure. It has to do with his weight. Anyway, so they're talking about what they're going to do it Uncensored. And then Heenan says, this is Hogan's last night. And the reason why he's saying that because Bobby the Brain Heenan hated Hulk Hogan. I don't know if it's a real life thing or I think it's just that storyline thing. He hated Hulk Hogan because he feuded with Hogan in the days in the World Wrestling Federation in the 1980s. Bringing his guys to help him destroy Hulk Hogan, King Kong Bundy, Andre the Giant, forming the Heenan family. I think, and then he still hate Hogan when he was in WCW, pre-NWO days, and maybe during the NWO days between 96 till 99, because the group officially broke up. I don't know, so, anyway, so my final rating for the go-home show to Uncensored Nitro, I give it a 4 out of 10. This was just a mediocre. It was okay. Wasn't bad. Wasn't great. It was just right down the middle for me. The only match in the good for me has to be, Public Enemy versus the Steiners. The main event and the main event it's actually the only match in the OK. I almost say it's the second match. The only 4 matches. The only two. I don't really put the Luger Loch Ness match nowhere near in the OK or bad or grades. To be honest, it was barely a match, so it's not on the list. So it's basically like this. I'm gonna recap. So the good, I put the Steiner's Public Enemy match. The OK has to be the main event. Plus, take away the you got. I put the like instead of the outside interference, but it's still an okay match. The only thing in the bad has to be probably Booty Man versus Arn Anderson. That was a boring match. Same as Road Warriors, Nasty Boys. And I put Brian Pillman's return as a okay. I put him on okay. It was an okay. It was really a short return. And sadly, you never see him ever again. He ended up going to the WWF later that year. So it's what it is. So I think he ended up going to ECW. Had a cup of coffee in that company. Debut at CyberSlam '96. Then WWF, and then he died. So yeah, sorry I'm stumbling. So yeah, I don't really watch this on if you got this on the network. It's just like an okay show. Wasn't fantastic. And so, hope you enjoy my review of WCW's Monday Nitro for the 18th of March 1996. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below, smash the like button, click the bell, join the Essential Unit today or you miss out the fun. Subscribe to the channel for more wrestling videos and more. And this is Essential Man officially signing out. Check you later. Like at the start of this video, the return of the WCW's Clash of the Champions shows will be next week, 3rd of September 2021. There'll be my review of... It's been a long time. Clash of the Champions 13? 14? You have to wait until next week. So this is Sentiment officially signing out. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you next time.